You know, my life is a strange thing. So there are those whom will think that I'm pure evil and that I am murdering babies and sacrificing goats, and I'm not. I like children. I can just never finish a whole one.
Some topics are hard to approach. Either the subjects are inaccessible, or people are uncomfortable discussing them. So we found those subjects in person, rented a space in Los Angeles, and invited our audience and strangers to come in and ask them anything.
Hello, my name is Richard Lale Lillard. Richard Lale is one name, and I am a psychic, a clairvoyant, and I'm here to answer questions on the topic. Hello.
Hello. I've never spoken with a psychic before.
Well, maybe you have, you just didn't know it.
Yeah, I guess anyone could be.
When was like the first moment you realized that you had psychic ability?
Well, you know, that's the funny question that people ask frequently. When I was 4, almost 5, my father was dying in the hospital, and they said, what do you want for your birthday? And I said, my father is coming home for my birthday. My father's coming home for my birthday. And everyone went, oh, you know, poor kid, he doesn't really understand what's going on. And then my father came home for my birthday the day and the night before my actual birthday. And they said, well, aren't you excited? Your father came home. And I said, I knew he was going to.
Can you give me a rundown on what kind of psychic you are and kind of your abilities?
Well, I use many tools. I use divining rods, and I use crystals, and I use all kinds of things. But there's a lot of intuition.
What kind of people come to you? What type of people? Are they people
All
who had
walks
vulnerability
of
or
life.
sadness in their life?
I have read for every religious viewpoint. I have read for wealthy people. I have read for poor people. I have read for young people and for old people.
Wait, just to clarify, you tell fortunes, is that correct?
I don't like people to say fortunes, because when I'm doing a reading for someone else, I do not speak in the absolute. Because if I tell you something, if I tell you there is something that is coming, and if you step to the side, you're going to miss it, then it changes the events in the cards.
What should someone do if they receive a fortune that they don't like?
Well, remember, number one, that you are the director of your own movie, you are the writer of your own novel, and you can say, for the affirmative, I like that, or for the negative, I don't like that. I would also recommend that sometimes I give things to people that I know they don't want to hear, but I do so because they need to hear it. If they say, well, that I don't like that, do it again, and I'll tell them, okay, but that's still how it is.
So being psychic is a lot about you being in touch with your intuition. So
Sure.
Do you have daily rituals that you follow to
I
be
do.
in touch? Yeah.
I certainly do. The main thing that I do is breathing. There is a 3-part in the breath. When you inhale, you are taking in newness and freshness. When you pause, you are forced to focus on the now. And when you exhale through the mouth, you are pushing out all of that negative energy.
Do you think like everybody, like whether it comes to like coincidence or like deja vu, or like do you think that there are like abilities that we can all have but we just aren't channeling?
I believe yes. When children are little, they believe in magic and fairy tales and wizards and ghosts and spirits and all kinds of wonderful things. And as adults, we tell the children, no, that's not real. No, that's not real. No, that's not real. And so by continuing to say those things, it sort of breaks down their ability to open up to those other worlds.
So how do you feel about people who use their gift of being psychic to get on TV? Because sometimes when it reaches TV and becomes a reality TV show, you start losing the sense of what's real or not, and there's so much production behind it. So
Sure.
How do you feel about celebrity psychics? let's
I
say?
don't have a problem with celebrity psychics. I'm very good friends with many of them. As humans, we oftentimes have this sort of judgment against someone whom makes money off of something that they're naturally talented as, and the altruistic side is beautiful, but there are bills that have to be paid, and television pays bills. I know from personal experience.
How have your family and friends reacted to you being a psychic?
My friends, it was no surprise when I started. Many of them knew. My mother is my dearest friend. She's 80 years old, and she was very, very clairvoyant. Back in the 50s, people started calling her witch. So we'll openly discuss things that we do sort of know, but they refrain, like they do with many other aspects of my life. My family pretends it doesn't exist.
Wow. How does that affect you personally?
As far as the psychic ability goes, they call it a gift from God, they call it second sight, they call it, they have different names for it. As far as the more personal aspects of my life, our conversations have gotten to be very, how are you? How's the weather? How are you feeling?
Have you ever felt ashamed for being psychic?
Oh no, never. No, I don't ever feel ashamed for it. I don't feel ashamed about anything. Growing up, I would try to fit in. I would try so hard, and I was weird and skinny and pale with big teeth, and I had a strange accent, and I wore strange suits. I was odd, and I would try on occasion to be what everyone wanted me to be, and I would wear the clothes, and I would change my voice, and I was so unhappy. So no, I'm never ashamed of who I am. Never, no.
Thank you so much. It was a pleasure.
My pleasure, Margaret. I really think you are a lovely lady. I would like to meet you in person. I think you're quite a lovely human being.
Thank you.
You're welcome.